looks like my voice is coming through. No, you can only have 200 SMG. Yeah, yeah. Your clip isn't counted towards your maximum ammo capacity. So you guys are tuning in to probably the weirdest version of Quake 1 that I've ever experienced. Sort of. It's got stamina. Oh my god, this is like some kind of weird blasphemy on any Quake style first person shooter. We got reloading. We got. Oh. Now mega health. Oh yeah, that's right. You can see all the spawn timers on the side of the screen. Such a strange version of. At the moment, there's no way to do double jumps, so you can't get the red armor. Actually, the rocket launcher just feels exactly like the Team Fortress 2 Soldier. So you notice that the crosshair does have accuracy. The rocket launcher is a fairly accurate weapon, but something that's a little bit more traditional, like the you actually, with the SMG for example, or the pistol. Oops. I don't have any ammo on my clip, my magazine. So you can aim down sight, and you have crouch. Crouch reduces weapon kick, so that you're more accurate. Actually, I was just corrected that the SMG should be one of the more accurate weapons because SMGs tend to be run and gun weapons, which is a good point. I actually should make assault rifles less. Well, that's not really the point of this though. The point is to have a template for a first-person shooter. So you end up with this really weird mix of Quake. I also made a mistake on this level. The grenade launcher is not. God, if you press the fire button while you're reloading, it cancels the reload. You need to fix that. There will be other things too, mini-map with Doritos and all that jazz. Be able to see like stuff, have suppressed weapons to. It'll support all those things. So this is just going to be the most weird version of Quake. Wow, ran out of armor in the middle of that. I think I started doing 30 damage. So, if she kills me, go ahead and kill me. Use that number 5 weapon, shaft. Or you're gonna beat me up? You're just gonna punch me to death or axe me to death? Oh my god! All right. So. And you get to see all the damage, and now I'm free floating around the map. I know where she is. So you select a spawn point, and you just by kind of just floating around and you look at the spawn point, right? And then you press E, and that's where you spawn. It took me a little while to get that to work correctly, but it's working. It's working correctly now. as weird as this is, it feels kind of neat. Like, oh man, out of fucking stamina. Now, stamina is the only way to do like double jumps and all that stuff. It's kind of inspired by Fallout 4's, what is it? What the hell is it called? Basically, like, the action points in Fallout 4. Alright, I think this is good. I think I'm pretty happy with the results of this. What? One shot? I don't have headshots. There's no headshots in this. There's no crits or anything either. Well, technically the rockets do a range of damage because I took the original damage formula from Quake 1. So, radial damage will happen within a range. Alright, I think I'm good with this. Alright, here is extended first person template's latest features. I will say that if you have ever been interested in creating a first person shooter, this project is definitely something that you should be watching. While I am sort of on the side creating features that will complement the game that I want to make in the far future, none of those choices are going to be anything that will hinder your ability to just add graphics and stuff like that. I'm thinking of just doing a first-person shooter where all of the graphics are just icons and your zombie men look like zombie men. Because fuck it, I like Dwarf Fortress, so get ready for first-person shooter Fortress. Anyway, with that said, I'm giving away my idea. But if somebody else takes my idea and they make a really good game with it, I want to play it. Anyway, let me focus on the new features for this version. Alright. This is now fully functional. This does not cause problems. You can pick a spawn point. It says spawn point selected. Press E to spawn. Press E to spawn. E is your interact key. So anything when it comes to like looting chests and or dead bodies and stuff like that in the far future, in the next couple of versions, you'll be pressing E to open those things up and like get loot. Okay, you'll notice that I have a crosshair. Is now using my units per second. That's my movement, right? There you go. You notice that I have stamina. Stamina goes down when I sprint. And I have crouching. So the first thing is like, okay, I have the ability to crouch, and crouching affects my collision volume so that I can go into air vents. You like your vent crawls? I got my vent crawl. You got a vent crawl. Yes, all future projects using this will have air vents. I guarantee it. But, oh shit, I'm all out of ammo. Just feels weird. Okay, reload my gun. Okay, cool, 12 bullets. Cannot stand up if there's no room. Alright, I'm going through the list right now. Crouching should interpolate. Okay, so crouching, in the last version, did the last version have crouching? Well, for a little while there, I had the ability to crouch, but it would just be like a 1 or a 0. It would be like, are you crouching? Boom, the camera would be all the way down, and boom, it would be all the way up. So I just made it so that it interpolates. It's a little bit smoother. Okay, weapons now kick as well. I have not gone as far as adding spray patterns. I feel like that's maybe a little bit out of the scope of the first person template because it's not something that's super hard to do, but it's not necessarily something that I really would prefer to have in my own project. But basically, when I fire my gun, right? You'll notice if I right click to aim down sight, right? I You notice that the screen moves up when I fire. Pretty standard stuff for a first person shooter. If you're crouching, it reduces that kick. Not by an entirely huge amount, but it does. Now, when I fire my weapon, the the little dots spread out. Those little dots are indications of my weapon's accuracy. The lines indicate my UPS, how fast I'm moving. And the UPS is actually the number below stamina. You see that number? And if I'm falling, I take falling damage based on UPS, and that's pretty hardcore, like falling damage right there. And Quake, you never took more than 10, I don't think. But in this project, you take it's set to take to do a lot of damage when you fall. So there are a lot of accuracy modifiers, as far as I can tell. Let me see if I can list these a little bit better. Aim down sights affects your the spread of your crosshair, but it only affects the spread after it's been modified. So there's a minimum crosshair amount. See when I'm zoomed in. But if I'm not aimed down sights, it spreads way faster, the crosshair size. Let me grab some ammo. In the Quake style pickups will automatically reload your magazine. Why do I call it a clip? But it's very easy to reach a point where your gun's just not doing anything anymore. Yes, even the lightning gun has a cone of accuracy. Some weird things are happening as a result of this being a Quake style shooter with all these extra features that are also commonly found in modern shooters. Because I'm making the template feature complete, but it still has Quake at its core, so it's like all of this stuff at once. Anyway, ranting. If I take damage, this is hard to see if I don't have somebody actually shooting me. But when I take damage, my weapon accuracy decreases. It's kind of something you can see. Yeah, like when I finally hit the ground, you see my crosshair increases. That's just yeah. See, when I fire my rocket, the crosshair goes out like that. But if I well, now it's infinitely spread crosshair because I'm dead. Let me pick a spawn point. Okay. Now this is a more technical thing that I did that does actually have a really big effect on the structure of what's going to be working in the future. Now, one of the reasons why I have zombie men is because I hooked the player character up to a struct, and now the player character is a more general purpose base archetype for all characters. Before the QT character was just QT player character, and that was it. But now I can have zombie guard, and I can have player, and you can have different types of players that run at different speeds and have different amounts of health, and you can pick like which one. You can make Team Fortress 2 with this. As a result of hooking the player character up to a struct and making sure that the struct has everything in place. So you see right now, currently, this is all the things that are available to modify, and then you have all of the sounds. I noticed that a lot of the sounds here are things like idle sound, alert sound, pain sound. That's because for my personal project, I'm planning to make enemies that behave exactly like Doom 2 monsters. So that's pretty much what this is. But you can change it to whatever you want. I fixed the bug with player spawns being visible to all players when somebody dies. I fixed all that stuff, so now the spawn system is fully functional. Uh, and that's that. And as a side note, I really loved that John Romero released a new Doom 2 map, and uh, I have so much like urge to actually work on my Doom 2 map again. But now that I have this, like, would it even make sense for me to do that at this point? Because I can just make my own Doom 2 with weird, funny icons, and everything seems to be working with this project. Like, I'm not hitting any limitations anymore, and I seem to have a pretty good grasp on how to get everything working. So why not just make my own Doom 2 episode, but make it my own game, you know? So, uh, with that said, I'm releasing this on my Sue again. I will be using Sue from now on. Well, I have always been actually. I've just always been using it. But a lot of people will ask, why are you hiding your content on Sue? And the thing is that there's really no incentive for me not to. Like, oh, but more people will see it. But you know what? This is something I'm just doing for fun. I don't really. If somebody wants to miss out on really good content just because they don't feel like making a Sue account, that's their fault. Like, would you ever get mad at somebody for releasing a video on YouTube? Oh well, man, I don't feel like making a YouTube account. Like, I guess the only difference being in this case is that you don't have to make a YouTube account in order to view the video, but that's not going to be the case always with Sue either. And I would prefer to build a following that actually generates income, even if it's 5 cents a fucking day, just because throughout the history of me working on mods, I'll have a mod that gets like 2 million views, and I'll get nothing out of it. That would have been like $1,000. So yeah, all right. I'm just not cool with it anymore. I'm not cool with just releasing my stuff on the Nexus or something, especially if like it's still free. Like, just I highly recommend. I don't know. I mean, I should just drop the topic for now. But anyway, yeah, I'm releasing this on my suit, and I I hope you guys enjoy. Stay tuned for more because there will be more updates. This is going to go for a little while. Here's a list of graphics. Here's a list of what I'm going to be doing in the next things. Consolidating all weapons into so that you can modify the weapon's damage, its projectile speed, and all that stuff within the weapon blueprint, rather than having to go through four. Because currently, right now, there's projectiles, impact, explosions, and they're all different files, and they're all being pointed to, and they all have their own things. And the only way you deal damage is by modifying the impact. The impact is what deals damage. All that stuff is a separate are all separate entities, and I'm going to combine them just into the weapon blueprint so that you can go to the SMG, for example, load it up, and have everything at your fingertips in this one blueprint. Currently is not like that right now. That's what I'm planning to do in the future. Um, Call of Duty style damage indicator. This is also along the lines of the Quake sound when you hear a ding when you that doom sound whenever you hit somebody. Well, I want to have something like that in this as well because it's just a common thing that all first-person shooters pretty much have. Um, so that's going to be included. Drop a backpack on death is kind of controversial with me because I don't know if I necessarily want people to become containers or dead bodies that you can loot. But dropping an item when you die, or at least the gun that you were carrying, or whatever power up you had, or something like that, there needs to be dropping stuff support on death. Um, Sound effect for the jump pad. Actually, sound effects for everything is pretty awful. There will be a mini map. I'm planning on doing a mini map that actually displays sounds. So, like if somebody fires their guns, you'll see they call it the Dorito, the little triangles, um, and stuff like that. I want to try and get that. That's going to be a whole aspect by itself. So we'll end up with a version of Quake One that has a goddamn it has a as a mini map with everything you see in Call of Duty. Um, Damage direction indicator. This is something that goes back as far as the first Half-Life. Whenever you take damage from a certain direction, you see it in the middle of the screen. So it'll be like, if you got shot from behind, it'll be down here, and then it'll be over here. Okay. Um, yeah, the pickups themselves will have to have a widget. I'm gonna have a widget on the Quake style weapon pickups and item pickups that display how quickly they're gonna, how much time they're gonna respawn. I know that's a little bit redundant because right now all the timers are on the right side of the screen, but who knows? Maybe for your project you don't like the thing on the side of the screen. You'd rather just people like Unreal Tournament or whatever. I'm gonna have that. It'll probably just be a visible timer countdown, something really simple. One versus one gameplay, I'm planning to do something a little bit different. One versus one is going to be kind of like Rocket Arena, and so that would be like it supports spectators, people get in line. This is exactly what I was going to do with Project Stray. You see the health on the top of the screen, and in the case of this, what I'm going to do is it's going to be kind of like a damage match. The first person to do 1,000 damage to the other player wins that round. So even if you're out there grabbing the mega health, even if you're doing all that other stuff, like you can lose the round because you took more damage than the other player. I'm gonna have to figure out the intricacies of it, but I want people who are spectating to actually be able to see two health bars at the top of the screen, and they know exactly who's winning, they know exactly what's going on, and they have a semblance of like, just getting frags isn't the only way to win. In fact, just getting frags is not what's being counted. It's how much damage the other player is taking. Functional enemy AI. I haven't even opened this up yet, but that's going to be like the zombie AIs. Weapon spray patterns. I'm on the fence about adding spray patterns, CSGO style spray patterns. I want to do single player gameplay mode, classic Doom 2, find key, open doors. That will be present in this example with at least one level that shows you know you could spawn in with your buddies and get to the end of the map and hit the exit switch with a red, blue, and yellow key. Inventory system. I want to do a Fallout 4 style inventory system with paper doll. There's a lot of stuff that's going on with this one. This is a tough one. This will be like one of those features that takes like 2 weeks in order for me to really implement. But basically, it'll be just a list of items that you've looted, and it's just exchanging items from your inventory to world space or to other inventories, and that's pretty much it. It's going to be a very, very, very straightforward thing. And you're probably thinking, well, Fallout 4 isn't very straightforward. No, it's definitely not. But Fallout 4's inventory system is actually the simplest type of inventory system that there is. It's not using icons or like an MMO or something. Save game system that practically already exists. There has to be a menu, so these two probably go hand in hand. But yeah, okay, that's pretty much everything. Stay tuned for more, and that's that. Thank you. Thanks for watching. All right, one more thing. Okay, I can't believe I forgot to mention this. I'm watching the video and I'm like, oh, I forgot. But this is like something that nobody should ever forget. Okay, you see jump state? Right here. Okay, jump state. You got double jumping, super jumping, jump jet. Yeah. Okay, so with the jump jet enabled on the player character, I now have motherfucking jetpack. Motherfucking jetpack. Check this out, check this out. Come on, come on, come on. Respawn faster. Wow. Sounds a little weird. Maybe it should probably send me a little higher. Yeah, jump jet, motherfucker. Fly. It's realistic until it's not.